Yeah.
Call the meeting order.
Okay, welcome to the Queen Anne's County Commissioners meeting. This is a public meeting that is being aired live on our local cable television station, QACTV 7. These media broadcasts provide county citizens an opportunity to watch and review our scheduled public meetings. In addition to our live audience this evening, we are providing remote options for citizens to watch and participate in county commissioner meetings. Citizens may watch our meeting live on our website at qac.org/live or on our public access governmental television channel provided by Breezeline Cable Services. Citizens may also participate by joining the live Zoom meeting by going to qac.org/public comment. Citizens may also email comments to publiccomment@qac.org. Comments received will be summarized during the press and public comment period on tonight's agenda. We acknowledge everyone's participation, and by attending, you acknowledge that this session is both recorded and aired. Press and public comment will be taken and is limited to 3 minutes per person. If you do care to speak, please sign up at the information table in the lobby. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing for the Commissioner's review. We will now stand and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Commission President Chris Corcorino.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a minute for all of the victims of the fires out in California, and particularly for all of the firefighters coming from all over the world to help battle those fires. Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, that brings us to the approval of tonight's agenda.
Closed session?
Let me get the agenda first.
Okay.
So the agenda for today's meeting, January 14th, along with the regular session minutes, the Sanitary Commission minutes, and the closed session minutes from December 10th, 2024, they've all been circulated for the review of the Commissioners. Do I have any additions or corrections for this evening?
So, yeah, I'd like to amend the agenda to include a single desk item.
Second.
Okay, motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners. All right, so we just completed a closed session under the General Provisions Article Sections 3305B1 to discuss boards and commissions, and Section 3305B7 to consult with counsel. We do have some appointments to make for boards and commissions.
For Council of Children and Youth, I move to reappoint Dana Barnhart, Eric Johnson, Mary Beth Johnson, Elizabeth Miller, and Doreen Fassett to the Council for Children and Youth. These terms will begin on January 1, 2025, and expire on December 31st, 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to,
Go ahead.
yeah, for the Ethics Commission, I move to appoint Mark Cascia from the alternate member to a member with a term expiring on 5/1 of 2028.
Second.
All right, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. That brings us to press and public comment. So we appreciate all citizens for taking time to express views.
Hold on, Todd, I don't think we have anybody here for press and public comment? Anybody on Zoom?
Okay, you didn't have nobody signed up.
Nobody signed up?
Signed up?
Nobody signed up?
All right. Moving on, we can move into the Department of Public Works, into the meat of the agenda. So we have, looks like 8 items for DPW today. So Mr. Quimby and Mr. Moore, please come on up. We have our Director of Public Works, Alan Quimby, and Chief Roads Engineer, Shane Moore. So first we have roads. If you want to turn to tab number 2, and if you want to convene as the Roads Board.
I make a motion that we convene as the Roads Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, I'll let Mr. Moore, our Chief Roads Engineer, go over these first 3 items. They are final road upgrade assessments for 3 roads in the communities of Kent Island Estates. So the first one is on, again, tab 2, item 1. This was for Worcester Road.
Sure. We have the resolution for Worcester Road final assessment. This is Resolution 25-1. As indicated, the final construction cost tallied at $83,638, which breaks down to a cost per owner of $3,982.77, or an annual payment of $243.57 for 20 years. So with your signature and execution, we will notify the property owners through the Department of Finance, and they can start paying off the assessment.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion. Execution and adoption of Resolution 2501 by the County Commissioners.
Second?
All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion?
Discussion. So this road hasn't been done yet?
Completed.
Oh, it is
All three of
completed.
these roads are completed.
Oh, these are
We had
okay.
hearings back in 2022.
Right.
They've been under construction. Final tar and chip was done, and we've accepted them. They are ready to be taken into the inventory, and we are ready to do the resolution for the final assessment of the actual cost of the project.
Okay. I'll wait then to the end and talk about that.
And below budget too, as well, as you can see, below budget.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Great.
below the estimate, I should say, yes.
Any other questions, discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item number 2 on page 5 is for Elm Street, final road assessment. Elm Street. Mr. Moore?
Sure. This is for Elm Street final assessment. It's also completed. I'll just highlight that the estimate was $127,614. It came in at $107,000 and change, which works out to a cost per owner of $4,286.94, or annual payment of $262.17 for 20 years.
Execution and adoption of Resolution 25-02 by the County Commissioners.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. And lastly, item number 3, this is the third final road upgrade assessment for Virginia Road. And this is item 3 on page 9.
With this one, all work's been completed. It's in our inventory. The original cost estimate was $149,511. The actual price after completion was $95,646.63. Certainly a savings there. Cost per owner was $5,034.03, with an annual payment of $322.92 for 20 years.
Execution and adoption of Resolution 25-03 by the County Commissioners.
Second?
Any discussion?
Just out of curiosity, that 2.5% interest on a 322.92, first year is 322.92. What is that 20th year? Do you know?
It's broken down evenly. I mean, it should be the same payment every year.
Oh,
per the
okay.
amortization.
I see. So it's already prorated in there, and you just split it up into 20 payments.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so my question is, the numbers, the actual numbers that actually come in are, and especially on this last one we just voted on, was pretty substantial. Difference in what we anticipated and what the actual costs were. So the 800-pound gorilla in the room is, we were anticipating stuff, materials, timing, the availability, cost factors, everything to be higher than they actually came in, or?
Or is it a bigger road?
In this particular case, the base material that was already there for that road was in really good shape.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have to bring
All
a
right.
lot of material, and that was the big savings on that project. Typically, when I do the estimates for these projects, I do aim high, and I inform the
Worst case scenario.
communities, because there's nothing worse than coming back and asking for more money.
Right.
After it's completed. So we aim high, letting them know that we're being very conservative in our estimates and hope to come in below budget.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All right, we have a motion to execute and adopt Resolution 25-03. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Moving right along, next we have item number 4 on page 13, and this is a deed of dedication for Eagle Manor Drive Extended in the subdivision of Condor Manor, which is just up near Church Hill. And this road was constructed by a developer and is ready for acceptance into the county road system.
Execute deed of dedication signature by Commissioners.
Second?
Any discussion?
That was a mouthful, Jim.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. And item 5 on page 21, this is another deed of dedication for the streets in the community of Gibson's Grant, several roadways in Gibson's Grant.
Execute deed of dedication signature by commissioners.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank you. And just let me add on here, so, because I get this question sometimes, since we just talked about accepting a road in from an existing development, and we're also talking about roads for redoing roads. When a new development is built, the developer pays for the road, they have to build them to county standards. Those costs are then spread out amongst everybody who buys the homes in those new developments, and then it's conveyed over to the county. When we're talking about something like Virginia Road, these are in Canal Estates, where at that time, they were private roads. The developer did not actually make paved roads. They were not done to county standards. So anybody who lives on a private road and wants to have the county take care of the road, they have to pay to have it brought up to county standards, just as a private development like Gibson's Grant had to do. And once they pay for that, the county will take over it. We will then maintain it and all that kind of stuff. So,
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so, because we get these questions sometimes about the difference, or it's not fair, why don't they have to pay for it? Everybody pays for the road to become a county road.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Shane while he's here? Roads Board?
So how many roads are done and how many are left, roughly? Down
Left in, that are being constructed right now?
down in the
Ski.
southern Ken Island.
Oh, Southern Ken Island. The actual, I can send you an email of the map of what's private and public at this particular time with
Quite a few
Maryland.
left.
Yeah, there's a few left. Road McCoke has several, and then Canal Estates has maybe 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that would be nice.
We have a
to
map,
just-
a current, a running map of
Perfect.
all the private and public roads in Canal Estates
Awesome.
with mileage, and I can send that to you.
Appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, that'll work.
And we do have 3 projects in Canal Estates in the pipeline right now.
You're going to be moving forward.
We're going to be moving forward with public information meetings this spring.
Okay,
So,
good. All right. Motion to
Nope.
Nope.
Sanitary Commission.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Drink it.
You got me. All right, sanitary.
All right. This is item number 6 on page 29. This is for the vacant lot assessments in the Southern Kent Island Phase 4 sewer project. So, Mr. Quimby, you want to outline this, please?
Yeah, we're in a position now to, the community mains in the streets will be done shortly, in a couple more months, so we're in a position to assess the vacant lots, not the improved properties, and ski Phase 4, and we're proposing the schedule as it's in your memo with the assessment to start April 1st.
I will note that this will require a public hearing, and we are scheduled, at least tentatively, for March 11th for a public hearing at the Kent Island Library. That would be consistent with our commissioner meeting that month. As long as we have a quorum, we're good. And it's just a
All right.
hearing. Yeah, you can watch it on.
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
can-
true, that's true.
Yeah.
I move to proceed with the benefit assessment of the vacant lots for the Southern Kent Island Sanitary Project Phase 4 in accordance with the above schedule.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Fourth phase and the final phase.
Final phase. We should have the STEP contract, which will be the end of it, out to bid shortly.
Very good, very good. All right.
Awesome.
Okay, ready to move on? All right. Our next item, item number 7 on page 30. This is the Cross Island Market, the Kent Island Crossing, known as Kent Island Crossing down there on the Bell property. This is the PWA for their sewer allocation for their development down there, which consists of 7 different buildings.
I move to execute the public works agreement with Cross Island Market LLC to allow them to construct a mixed-use commercial project.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. The last item for Public Works for the Sanitary Commission, item number 8 on pages 40 through 44. This is a sewer easement for the GEM 3 real properties. This is kind of a cleanup item. This is an easement that we needed to provide public sewer to this particular property that was amended into the water and sewer plan. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Quimby?
No, other than, you wouldn't believe what we had to go through to connect a single house to the sewer. State Department of Planning really has some serious heartburn with that for some reason. So, but we got through it.
Congratulations.
That's the only thing I heard. I move to execute the easement between Gen 3 Real Estate and the county to allow for the county to maintain the sewer service lateral serving 1410 Roman Coke Road.
Can I get a second?
And you're calling that item 8, action item 8?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Item 8, pages 40 through 44.
Second.
Yeah, there may have been
Yeah, I got
a
it.
boo-boo in
Mine's
that
March
one,
7.
in that book.
That's why I was wondering if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
missed
it
something.
is item
Just
8.
trying to keep
It's
you
all
awake.
good. I just missed the number.
Yeah, that was, yeah, it is
Listen,
item
if that was a test, we failed.
8. You failed. You got it, Commissioner. You got it.
Phil, Margie was in the
Right on
building
cue.
just the other day.
Margie was in the building, so she was messing with stuff?
Yeah. All right, we got a motion and a
Take her
second.
key card away.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, and Commissioner Dumino, thank you. You passed the test.
And thank you to Public Works for cleaning up all the roads in the snowstorm. Appreciate it.
Shane.
All right. Moving on, if you want to turn to tab 3, Commissioners, we have 2 action items and 1 desk item. So tab number 3, item 1, on page 1, we have a request for increasing the marina slip fees at the county slips at the Kent Narrows from $800 to $850 from our Parks and Recreation Department. And this was a 2-step operation. If you recall, we talked about doing a $100 increase some years ago, or a year ago, and then we did it in 2 segments, $50 then, and now this is the second piece. This would be in effect as of May 1st of 2025.
I move to authorize the Department of Parks and Recreation Public Landings Division to increase the marina boat slip fee to $850 per year on May 1, 2025.
Got a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah. Is this average pricing for other counties? And what's the cost for like a private landing?
10 times that amount. Honestly,
Yeah.
that is an outstanding
We
price.
actually, James compiled a chart of information, sent it up to Todd late yesterday about the difference in prices. For example, Talbot County is $1,000, Centerville Wharf is $1,250, Kent County, Bayside Landing, Park and Rock Hall is $1,440.
Thank you, sir.
Chestertown Marina is $2,720, and Caroline County is $795. So we're still the, least expensive market in the game. And James did this on a rate for a 40-foot long boat slip.
But can anybody park their boat in there, or is it just our water?
80% is it 80%? 80% have to be watermen, 20% could be recreational boat users.
So the watermen are paying the $850.
No, everybody would pay the $850.
You can't discriminate. But 80% of them has to go to water.
That's our capacity, 80% capacity at the
At Kent Narrows.
Kent Narrows is 850.
Still a great-
Wow, someone charges $6,000.
I'm telling you, this. Go up to Pier 1 and say how much is it for a slip. Yikes. Yeah.
We've also, James has also reached out to key contacts of the watermen to let them know, to remind them also that, this took place last year, and this is the second phase of it. And, they will then in turn continue to communicate out to
So
the
here's
others.
my question. So remind me again on what we voted on last year. We had voted to get to 850, but we were going to do it. So why are we voting on this now if we already agreed that by this time next year, we were going to be at 850?
I think last year we only made it 800. We just voted on 800.
Okay.
We said they wanted to go to 850, but I think we said, $100 increase is much. So we put it at 50 and said, we'll increase it next year. And here we are next year, adding that other 50. That's all.
Any other questions?
Again, comparatively speaking to the private marinas, I mean, we're extremely cheap, but the reason for those slips, speaking of just our watermen, what is the overall condition of the marina? Is it in great shape? Does it need any kind of improvements? How are the cameras? How's the quality of the cameras? I mean, you know, with what's going on in Annapolis and how these men and women who are watermen in our community, and this is everywhere in the state of Maryland, the overregulation that takes place, the limits of catch, when they can actually be out there, we're handcuffing them, and the state's handcuffing them, not us. And I just think that it's not going from 8 to 850. It's not. I'm just saying, I truly believe that these guys and gals work hard, and every penny matters. And what the market will bear for a bushel of oysters is different for them. But their efforts and what they have to go through and their expenses to gather those bushels, I'm a no. I'm a no, and those are the reasons.
Is there a way to lower the waterman's rate? Just the waterman? Since they're the economic, you know, they're producing.
I mean, that probably sounds, I mean, I get it. That sounds like a question maybe Patrick needs to answer, if we can actually say, okay, if you're a waterman and you hold a license, then this is what you're going to pay. If you're a public citizen and you waited for the slip and it's yours and this is what yours is going to be. I mean, I don't know if we can legally do that.
Just for a couple clarifications, there's 3 marinas, 172 slips, and Kent Ayers is the primary one with 145 slips. And when that was renovated, and Shane Moore led that effort, so it's in pretty good shape, actually, to answer that question. At that point, this preference for watermen, so we have a commercial waiting list for them, and there was a threshold of maintaining 80%. But as far as logistically, we always work from the commercial list first, and we have never even gotten to the other list.
Yeah.
So that marina is unique, and we got special permission from the state to allow a preferential for watermen. So we are providing it there, I would say. And I would say from a manager's point of view, we've intentionally kept the rate low. The last time we changed it was in 2012. It was $750 then.
Okay.
So we held off and it kept holding off, and rather than going up 100, we went 2 steps at 50. And we're still lower than, you know, Talbot's comparable slip. So those are some considerations. And the final thought is that we are an enterprise fund, so it is, you know, it's a budget balancing concern. It's not the only source of revenue, but it is one of them. So my impression is that the folks that are working the water every day, this is not a burden on them. It's maybe the folks that maybe are struggling a little more, and they're not as active, you know, on the harvesting side.
Did you get a chance to, I mean, when we discussed this last year, did we get input from representatives from the Queen Anne's County Watermen's Association? I mean, are they?
I spoke to the head of the Watermen's Association before we did, and as recently as today. They've changed leadership.
Right.
I left the voicemail with the new guy, but
Right.
So Troy, you didn't talk to Troy?
I talked to Troy today, yes.
And they're okay with this?
They were expecting it because we've presented it that way.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
It's just not, also, it's just not the slip, you know, we also include electricity and water as well. So we're paying for all that through their fees, and like I said, if you want things to be upkept, you know, we also, you know, as James said, you know, he's an enterprise fund. So, you know, we need a little money in order to do improvements. If we keep everything the same, you know, the cost of doing business is going up, the cost of timbers is going up. So we're always going to be in a deficit value if we're going to chase that.
I get that. The only reason I brought that up is because if we're going to charge $850 per year for a slip, it better be worth the $850 that we're charging for it, as far as the condition of it, the electricity, the security. You know, I know that, you know, the quality of the cameras probably need to be updated because, you know, from 40 feet, 50 feet away, the camera can't pick up, you know, it's just too grainy, and we can't. Now, the folks that are vandalizing and stealing things off of these boats, I mean, they're smart, they know where the cameras are, they know where to park, where not to park, and I just think that we need, if we could just do some improvements. We're gonna ask for $850 from them, let's give them a quality product.
And I think they do get that, you know, considering, you know,
All right,
everything
well,
else
let's,
is
you know what,
around.
then attend a Queen Anne's County Watermen's Association meeting with me, and let's hear what they have to say about the condition of it. I'm not disagreeing with you, that's not what I'm saying, but I get to hear at these meetings, Sunday mornings, about where we're falling short, that's all.
It's a two-way street. It's, you know, everybody's got to do their part as well. You know, there's a certain, you know, responsibility for us, and there's also a certain responsibility for the
burden on them.
renter as well.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
so.
And there's a few bad apples that ruin it for the rest of them.
Yeah,
Always.
generally, things are pretty good, I think. We build a good rapport with each renter. If they need something,
Okay.
the communication helps a lot.
James, how old is the camera system?
3 years old or 2? It's either 2 or 3 years old.
Could we upgrade it for a reasonable amount?
Bless.
Yeah, we actually have some funding for that already allocated. We put in 20 cameras. We improved one.
I mean, it could be a year old if the quality's not good enough.
I think
It's not good enough.
I think we know where we could use a couple more. We were very focused on the bulkhead to boat view shed, and now we need some on the view, people coming in and out.
We also know that the county is pulling together all the information for all county cameras because we've got a whole, you know, litany of them out there. So we're trying to, I think the
Yeah, we
way
are
is trying to
comprehensively
go to
evaluating all of
one
our systems. to try to
specific
get a
type.
better
So
lasso
everything
on
is
that.
good.
Yeah. So,
So before we jump to upgrade ours, we knew this was coming down, so we don't want to pay twice for that. We could, you know, utilize our money to assist with whatever the final product is.
Any other questions?
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, we got a motion to authorize the Department of Parks and Recreation's Public Landing Division to increase the marina boat slip fee to $850 per year on May 1st, 2025. That's an increase of $50 from $800. And that motion was seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you for all the
James,
explanation on that.
just
Appreciate
quickly,
it.
a fireman asked me about, is there any way to put a water container at the end of the dock with a hose so that they can hose down their
Fireboat.
and he's a waterman also.
Oh,
So he wants to hose down his catch and he wants to hose down and rinse off his boat. Is there any way that we could put a 500-gallon or extend a hose down there? Because apparently it's not. It could run underneath the lip of the dock all the way down to the end.
Yeah, we looked into that before when that came up, and I think we have a hydrant at the head of the basin, and I'm open to looking at anything. And we're glad to look at it again, but
Probably just running a hose. You know.
I haven't had any other requests directly, but I'll be glad, send that person our way and we'll brainstorm.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Thank you.
thanks, gentlemen. All right, Commissioners, item number 2, under tab 3, item 2 on page 2 through 5. This is a request for economic development incentive funding for the Kids Landing Play Care, and this came from the EDIF Commission. Kids Landing Play Care is a sensory smart play-based center located in the Chesapeake Bay Business Park. Their request is for $45,551 to support acquisition of accessible furniture and equipment necessary for their startup operations. Their overall cost is $100,000. They have other funding sources from local businesses and donations, and the project will be conditioned on the creation of 5 new full-time jobs and 4 part-time positions over the next 3 years.
Fill in the blanks. What is this?
It is
like an
a
indoor playground? Is it?
indoor playground, but specifically the way it's set up is for children that have sensory, shouldn't say issues, but they have different learning needs and capabilities, and it's really cool. They have this whole room set up, and they have different play centers that represent different businesses within the county, and so they can play within there, and while they're playing, their caregivers can actually work. So they have a center for them to be able to work, and then they also will provide therapies to these children, and the woman that owns this is certified in providing therapy services. So it's not necessarily medical, somewhere in between, but it provides a service for children that don't necessarily have that option over here. If they wanted to get this kind of service or this kind of sensory play center, they would have to go across the bridge.
Is it open now?
Yes, it is open now.
What kind of hours
Yes.
are they?
Mainly during the day.
Okay, so it's not like evenings, you can't go there at 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, that kind of stuff.
Not that I know of, and they do have the ability for like private events or,
How many people can it hold, do you know? Did they say that what their goal is, if they have 4 employees? I'm just wondering if they're looking at having 25 kids in there.
oh, easily.
Really?
Easily 25, yeah, it's a pretty big room. And then they'll provide the, services to the students or the children. They have the ability, again, for the private events, birthday parties, and then, so, and those 4 people throughout the day, are gonna be doing different things, and the amount of staff person per student, if you think about daycare with younger generation, sometimes it's 1 staff person to every 2 children, so that's why you see
What's the age?
so many.
Age requirements?
It could start as soon as they can walk, so
Really?
2, yeah. and up.
And it says in your plan that they could actually go up to 20 or 30, 20 to 28 jobs
Over time.
over 3 or 4 years. Huh. I motion to approve the disbursement of up to $45,551 from EDIF funds to Kids Landing Play Care for the purchase of furniture and equipment. The disbursement of funds is contingent upon a signed agreement between EDIF Commission and Kids Landing Play Care, outlining the terms and conditions of the funding and the performance of the project in accordance with the application submitted to the EDIF Commission.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Anybody want to wish Heather a happy birthday before we vote on this?
I sang to her already.
Okay, so somebody remembered.
Just a quick question. Remind me again, these Economic Development Incentive Fund monies come from where?
We have a $1.2 million fund. It was down to a couple $100,000, and then the commissioners voted to refund that. And a portion of those monies, when you refunded, came from our old revolving loan fund that had
Okay.
sat stagnant. And then you funded the other portion. And then we also had $250,000 that we had allocated for workforce training, which is also a piece of that pot. And so that's kind of held separate, specific for our workforce training initiatives.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a great opportunity for us to have and be able to provide funding for businesses. So
That's all I have.
Good program, good program.
Soccer team, will you join us in happy birthday for Heather?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday, dear Heather. Happy birthday to you.
I've never seen her blush before.
All right, we got a motion to approve disbursement from EDIF to Kids Landing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And Heather had a happy birthday.
Got it.
Okay.
Good note.
All right, one last item, Commissioners. We have desk item number 1. This is regarding House Bill 101. This is legislation that would set the deadline to set the property tax rate for counties and municipal corporations back to June the 1st from July the 1st. We would respectfully oppose that legislation because it will require us to accelerate our whole budget process by at least 30 days or more. So this letter would be to oppose that legislation in Annapolis.
I move to execute the HB 101 property tax deadline to set county and municipal corporation tax rates. Alteration opposition letter.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion?
Will this fall on deaf ears? Is this,
We'll see, we'll find out. I mean, if we have to do it, we'll do it, but I mean, we just wanted to voice our concerns.
Are there
about-
other counties that are,
I don't know yet, I don't
I don't know
know.
if it's come up with Mako yet, but I'm sure it will.
Yeah, the hearing's in a couple of weeks before the next meeting, so, yeah,
that just moves up our timeline on what we have to do by a whole month.
by a whole month, correct.
Okay.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, Commissioners, thank you very much. That is all of the action items. We are now moving to presentations, and we have the Queen Anne's County High School Girls Soccer Team State Champions here with us tonight.
Where's Coach? You got to stand up.
And then here's the certificates.
Okay. Let's let Patrick do it.
We have some certificates
This
here.
was his idea.
Patrick, you get
So
to
what you're going to do,
call
that's
them
the
out,
list.
hand them out.
That's the list. So what you'll do is
Let you do the
you'll call
honors.
them out, and then
one should be the first one,
you
David.
can actually go up front, and you can hand. Here, I'll help you.
Okay.
Coach will help you too.
All right.
You too. Hands.
Oh, you'll be fine.
My hands are full.
Hands are full. You want it?
Let the coach help out.
Where do you?
He knows who they are.
Okay, here, you get to give them to the coach.
How are you? So, first of all, congratulations. Is this the first time that Queen Anne's County's had a first girls soccer team make state champion? So, that's awesome. How many seniors? Raise your hand if you're a senior. Okay. And juniors? Freshmen? And sophomores? Okay, so some strong underclassmen moving up. That's awesome. So we expect the championship next year. So while they're figuring the paperwork out, these are Queens County Challenge points. It's something that we give out to recognize excellence.
The coach read the names.
members of our community. And I believe if you talk nicely to the sheriff, it might get you out of the speed.
All right, so I'll call your name, you gotta come one up. Start with Catherine Bear.
All right.
Yeah. Commissioner Moran said that you could.
And after you get your certificate, why don't you stand up right here because we're gonna make a line.
There has to be a sheriff's deputy.
McKinley Bigby.
Stand right here. We're gonna make a line up and then we'll do a photo with everybody once we got it.
Ava Belch. Reese Fleetwood. All right, Madison Horney.
Phil, how many seniors are moving on to play soccer in college? Any of them? You didn't
That's
ask
a
that
good question. Yeah, so of our seniors that raised their hands, how many are going to college to play?
Lexi Kern.
Yeah, very good. Where are you going? Lexi. All right, very good. Heading south,
Riley Klepper.
Southern Maryland.
Hayden Legg. Taylor Napier.
Thank you.
Fidley Patchett.
Probably.
Shannon Rath.
See those jackets they're wearing? Yeah. I got another one.
Right.
Better than the felt on the arms. You know.
Kara Ringold. She's the one that scored the two goals.
The back is engraved with the Super Bowl.
Abby Robinson.
thing, 'cause my team, the 30 years Bowie's been in Bowie, Montgomery, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, DC, and
Morgan
Washington
Scott.
County. Our team was the first one to ever win that Super Bowl. That's awesome. Yeah, it was.
And
It's pretty
Chloe
cool.
Sharp.
We'll wear that up here one of these days.
Make sure you take all these with you, though. Yeah.
All right, let's get down and do a picture with
We're gonna squeeze together.
Patrick,
Absolutely.
come up here, and we'll
stand up
We'll
here.
stand up here.
Can you get it all? Oh, yeah. Can you get it all, Beth, or you need a two-row?
You guys kind of turn sideways like a beauty pageant.
Oh, no, I'm good. This is
Do
your
two
moment.
rows.
Don't we look like a beauty pageant? I already do.
That was sexist on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah, There you go.
Oh,
Double rowing them.
Great team.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah.
Keep coming.
You want to make slides?
Oh, you're live streaming.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hold mine.
All righty. Good. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Outstanding.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. I can see it. Thank you very much.
So, hey, ladies,
Thank you.
ladies, if you repeat, then,
Dinner on the commissioners.
how about state championship rings for you guys? Yeah? Rings? Yep. Okay.
All right.
Mr. Juvenile will pay for
You got it. You got to repeat.
All right. Challenges.
Have a good evening, ladies. Congratulations.
Thanks for coming in, everybody. It's great. Yes, indeed. You're welcome. Thank you.
No.
Happy to help out.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
See you on the basketball court. Yeah. In fact, I got you guys next week. You guys go to Cambridge, South Dorchester? Yeah, so I'll be at that game.
We got Ken Allen on Thursday.
Will ya?
In fact, we played St. Michael tonight. Come back.
Oh, you do?
We did.
So Thursday the 16th?
Out here.
Oh, I'm at Easton.
All right, we're still streaming. Just make sure everybody knows.
Yep.
Going and trash talking other teams.
Right.
On the camera.
Right.
All right, Commissioners, that's all we had for this evening, other than press and public comments and roundtable.
Anybody sign up? Anybody online? No press and public comment? Roundtable. Patrick.
Oh, that's, you can read it? Well, that was for the firehouse. You can read it if you want to.
No, that's for on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, Saturday.
All right.
You're up. Had a great night at Goodwill across the street here. Very good turnout, even though the roads were icy. And I understand you were not feeling well, Commissioner.
Tell me about it.
I put a kudos in for all you guys and County Administrator, and just wonderful people, salt and light, so to speak. So I'm getting something to eat, and Billy walks up to me and goes, first time in 13 years, I'm not going to be the president. So he was very joyful. Apparently Raymond is,
Raymond Aaron?
Yep, Raymond is taking over the FEC. So that's a good move from a good move, right? Two great men. So we're in good hands. And unfortunately Heather left, but the economic, I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about that. I don't
Go
want to
ahead,
steal
talk
your
about it.
thunder.
Please do. Go ahead.
The economic development 5-year projections of the 5 pillars was just fantastic. And it was our inaugural economic development unveiling conference, so to speak. And I look forward to many more years of those meetings.
Commissioner Moran?
The only thing I have is, went to the Bay Bridge Reconstruction Advisory Group meeting on last Wednesday, and as everybody knows, it's pretty much going to be 2 new spans built, 5 lanes, approximately 5 lanes per bridge, doing one bridge at a time, doing a bridge, demolishing a bridge, doing a bridge, demolishing a bridge. Timetable's looking like 2030 to 2032, somewhere in that range. That it'll be either done maybe or under construction, so, but again, that's the best shot in the dark that we can do. We're gonna be having another town hall, talking about our ramp closures. The state is hurting on funding, as everybody knows, it's been all over the news for months. And so is the roads division, so it's gonna be Queen Anne's County having to pick up some of the load that closes some of these ramps. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea, so we'll see how that plays out, and, we'll get some numbers together, but we're gonna have that discussion. And at the open house, the town hall, excuse me, we're gonna have data from last year's closures and what it looks like last year, what we're hoping it's gonna look like this year, so stay tuned.
All right. Commissioner Duno.
I have nothing.
All right. Well, let me add on to what you said about the bridge, because I think you said something that's important that I think gets lost on a lot of people, is that they build a new bridge, old bridge comes down.
Correct.
Build a new bridge, old bridge comes down. And so there are some people who say, build it somewhere else, but remember the part about bridge comes down. The old bridges were not going to stay, so for those who don't like the ramp management, they have to go backwards in order to get to the bridge. Imagine how much longer that commute would be if they built the bridge somewhere else and they took down the two old bridges, right? So like, this is why it's so important that we get these replacement bridges here, because those old bridges are coming down. And so if bridge somewhere else, that means everybody lives in Kent Island and Graysonville and Queenstown that works across the bridge, you'd have to add another hour and a half to your D. It's really important, and these bridges are very old.
Well, you also look at this as the two-lane bridge is the first one that, what it looks like will be the first one that gets done, which will go from 2 lanes to 5 lanes. Be 4 lanes probably with a turn or a shoulder lane. Possibly 6, we don't know, but that's the closest it's gonna get.
Right.
But that 2-lane bridge will come down. Now, that will relieve all of your traffic issues.
Heading east.
Eastbound, and majority of it westbound, because now westbound doesn't have to wait on Saturdays to be opened up to 3 lanes.
Right.
So that's gonna help, and that doesn't mean contraflow won't change. It doesn't mean that they won't put 3 lanes eastbound and 4 lanes westbound using one of those lanes. But it does mean that the project's gonna be such a high dollar ticket, $10 billion. But right now, we're only talking about the bridges, and it's not, like kudos to the state for thinking about this. So they only have to do the approaches to one bridge. They have the land out there now, they just gotta move things around. And if they open that bridge up, they could wait possibly another 10.
Or they have to do the second one.
Before they do the second. So it allows them to, recuperate some of the funding, relieve some of the pressure, a majority of the pressure, and get ready for what's coming down the road with the second bridge. So, anything we can do to help them to, move this along with the NEPA, which will be done in 26. The NEPA will be done, and then from there, we'll see what the funding looks like and the engineering and moving forward from there.
So what you're saying, Jim, we could see actual construction activity in 6 years?
Correct. That's right. Absolutely right. Yep. So
That's a critical
And then,
piece.
and then the
that honestly-
timeframe to build that
honestly,
one bridge?
It sounds like what they're gonna do is work on the Key Bridge, and when the Key Bridge is done, they're gonna roll that thing right around and get busy on the eastbound bridge, so we'll see. The Key Bridge, they're still talking 3 more years. Hard to say. Hard to say, so. It's in process. It's, like I said, it's moving forward, and I'm starting to believe it myself now that it's actually gonna happen, so. And so are the people from the state, so God bless them, and, it's gonna be huge for the entire Eastern Shore. The challenges aren't there yet. The challenges meaning from environmental groups and conservation groups, and that's gonna come, so, Queen Anne's County is the only one that has an excuse. We're the only ones that growth isn't gonna affect us because we have no sewer allocation. So, that's gonna be a dead, horse when it comes to,
Yeah,
Queen Anne's
people
County.
saying, oh my God, we're gonna have all this
Yeah.
growth, and
So it's going to be interesting to see that, but looking forward to it, really am, so.
very good. That is good news, Jim.
Just curious, how come they, back in the day, they used to do float municipal bonds and investment grade bonds for, the Holland Tunnel and whatever. How come they haven't, why is that out? Why?
It's not out. MDTA funds everything. They don't use any state tax revenue. So those
So they-
bridges are built off of bonds and tolls.
That people can buy.
Well, people,
The bonds.
organizations, countries, who knows? Who knows? Maybe China will own half the bridge, so
Yeah.
That's right.
yikes. But we'll see.
They own the Panama Canal.
Oh, and they were talking about on this bridge, a pedestrian lane. I thought, wow, we'll see how this floats out because I got
Better encase it.
Oh, it's gonna be,
encase it.
it's gonna be the
Sure.
bird cage. But the problem is, you know, you got a bird cage. Now somebody halfway up the bridge has had a heart attack.
Yeah,
How
I
do
gotta
you
get to them.
You can't pull up next to him and say, let me help you, because you're.
They'll have doors that are locked.
It's gonna be,
Yeah, that's,
I gotta believe
that's a
that's
long walk, I don't
danger.
know about that.
Yeah.
They ought to put a net under it now.
So another issue I wanted to talk about, because I think that the public doesn't understand how zoning works. And so when there are things before the planning commission, we often get emails where people say, don't do this, don't do that. Recently, there's a proposal for Dunkin' Donuts, and we got people say, we don't need another Dunkin'. I don't like Dunkin' Donuts myself. I prefer, you know, local businesses, but that's sort of beside the issue. But the issue that comes out when people say, you know, don't approve it there, the location that these people are looking at has been zoned to allow a Dunkin' Donuts for 30 years or more. It's not a decision that comes to us. And I think people don't understand the way this works is it's not that a business comes and says, how can we change the zoning so I can put my business here? When somebody's looking to open a business, they'll look around for what property is for sale and does the zoning fit what they want to do? And all the citizens can do this as well. All this information is available online. If you were to Google Queen Anne's County Property Viewer, you'll get to our GSI website, and you can click on any lot anywhere in Queen Anne's County. It'll tell you who owns it, tell you how big it is, but you can also, on the layering tab, click on zoning, and it will tell you what the zoning is for that property. And then the code is available online, so if it says Village Center or NC 17 or something like that, you can then look up and see what the zoning is there for that. And that's important because this is not a decision that we get to make, other than when you're doing the comprehensive plan, you can rezone things, but the zoning's already in place for these businesses. It's not something that we are voting on, nor really can we after a business already comes here, right? It's already sort of locked in place. And there's this larger issue behind that is that people do have certain property rights. And in order to sort of control where growth goes, what can and can't be there, we have zoning in place. And we have to follow the zoning laws in order to keep a nuclear plant from opening up next to your house, right? Or a gas station from opening up next to your house. These are how we zone different areas where things are. So when you see these issues are coming up before planning and zoning, and you'll see on social media, they don't care, they don't listen, they're gonna do what they want anyhow. It's already been decided before the business checks that location out. It's not us deciding or not caring or not listening. So you should look at that. And then whatever issue is before the planning commission, it's important to look at what is the issue before the planning commission. What are they being asked to decide? So in the case of Dunkin' Donuts, there was an issue of their concept is more of a drive-through Dunkin' Donuts rather than a sit-down. A lot of things have changed to more to go rather than dine in. And so they said we should have less parking spaces because we won't have customers inside. So that was the issue they asked the planning commission to look at is, would it be consistent with the law to have less parking spaces? Not, can we put a Dunkin' Donuts here? And so if you don't like that the Dunkin' Donuts is going there, you should focus on, should they be allowed to reduce the parking spaces? And you should focus your comments on that, because if you're just saying no Dunkin' Donuts, that's not what the planning commission can vote on. And so you're going to be disappointed because what they're deciding is not what you're talking to. So citizen involvement, whether you're for or against the project, it's important to know what is the issue that's being decided so that you can tailor your response to that. I think it's really important because often we lose that and then people get discouraged. They're like, oh, I said we didn't want that. They didn't listen. They listened, but it wasn't that issue. So I think it's important that people really focus in on those things so that, you know, we can have good citizen involvement and get to good results on those things. So it's not that you're being ignored, it's just that's not the issue they're allowed to vote on. It's not there. And this makes sense, right? Like if you have a house, it's zoned residential, and you want to sell it to somebody, you don't want to come to us to ask, can we keep it residential? It's zoned residential, and therefore that's the value you have, and you can then sell it to somebody else. And they know that they're going to be able to move in there because it's a residential zoned house. Commercial properties are the same. That's how the value is in there. That's how the loans are made to it. The owners of the property have certain expectations. And so we have to sort of maintain that. And that is following the law. It's not us deciding willy-nilly on things. It's us following the law. We all took an oath when we became commissioners to uphold the laws of the United States and Maryland, and that means the Constitution. So I just want to explain that, because I think it's really important that people pay more attention. And so when you are being vocal about things you like or don't like, sort of figure out the issues. If you don't know what's coming up with the Planning Commission or the county commissioners, we have email listservs you can sign up on our website. So you'll get an email ahead of time before there's a meeting with the Planning Commission, before there's a meeting with us. The documentation for what's on the agenda, that's all available online. You can look at it ahead of time. So I think that's just important that people pay attention so that you can be educated about what the topic is that is being decided. And so we don't have people feeling like they're not being listened to because it's not the issue that's being decided. Make sense?
Yes,
So
It does,
hopefully.
and that's the first
you
time I've
understand
heard a correlation between the Constitution and Dunkin' Donuts, so thank you.
that. It's, the founding fathers were big proponents of Dunkin' Donuts. No, not many people know about that, but that was the original Dunkin' Donuts crew, was Jefferson and Hamilton.
First one in the New World, right?
That's
Right
right.
there. There you
It
go.
was in
So-
Williamsburg. Everybody knows that.
So before you entertain a motion to adjourn,
Yes.
I just want to say the reason why Commissioner Jack Wilson's not here is he's on assignment.
On assignment for the
He's on
county.
assignment. So with that being said, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?